but not 2 points for the Oilers tonight in St. Louis as they wrap up their road trip with a 2-1-1 record, falling to the St. Louis Blues 3-2 in overtime, blowing a 2-0 lead in the third period. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. Live on location at the Canadian Ice House. Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage with you. Benny Thompson back at EST Global HQ. We're here in support of the Heavy Hockey Showdown. The silent auction was going till 8 o'clock tonight. Great turnout. It's been busy all night long here at the Ice House. Shout out to DJ Sid, who's done a nice job in this spot. She's made it her own. She got a permanent structure here.
It's unreal, Tommy.
Rather than the tables we used to use, and DJ Sid's at the bar because she's playing the Igloo Fest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is my spot now.
I know.
This is my spot.
I thought you were going to start peeing all over this place.
Yeah, I already did.
Oh, okay.
And she knows that it's her spot, and she's in charge of it. So she laughed. She thought it was hilarious, and she's off to bigger and better things over at Igloo Fest. Hey, Sid, this is amazing. Thank you. You did a great job. Everybody here, I gave you a shout out. Thank you. Fabulous. Yeah, she's going to be playing Igloo Fest, and she's great. All right, text us 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat. I saw some stuff coming in already. We want to hear from you. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Joaquin, they had it, man. They had a 2-0 lead, and they were looking good. There was a huge stretch of the game early in the second, I think it was, where St. Louis couldn't even get a shot. They had one shot in a 13-minute stretch.
Really good game, Tommy. But if you want to just break down kind of the first two periods, it was kind of like one of those games. Yeah, it's both teams are on the back end of a back-to-back.
Yep.
They're kind of like in a boxing match, just feeling each other out. Someone's almost like the like a sprint race on the bike or speed skating, right? Just kind of not knowing what tempo to go, and then all of a sudden someone kicks into gear and the game gets going in the third a little bit. But again, they did everything right. They got a 2-goal lead, but just couldn't lock it down in those last waning minutes. And unfortunately for the Oilers, had some really good chances. I mean, McDavid hits the bar. Connor Ingram, unreal game.
Made some great saves.
Unreal game by Connor Ingram. No, I think it was a really good game. This team, man, it's funny. They make their fans crazy because you see what they're capable of, and then there's just these slight little lapses that's when you would expect a veteran team like the Edmonton Oilers to kind of lock things down and have that boa constrictor mentality that you mentioned before, that you saw in that second period, where you frustrate the players and maybe you get the third and fourth one, but not that it's needed, but it's just because you're so sound defensively that those chances just generate for themselves.
Not tonight, Benny Thompson. Not tonight. The Blues prevail with the come-from-behind victory. What stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, just like Gage was saying, the first two periods, man, I think that's the exact type of game template that fans have been screaming for. You know what I mean? A low event, not giving up a whole lot in your own end. Ingram being good when he had to be. I'm gonna try to find the shot chart in that second period, but I from off the top of my head, man, I don't think St. Louis had over 4 or 5 shots in that second period.
No.
And
it took they had that stretch where they didn't have a shot.
Yes.
And I think it was 13 minutes. 13 stands out to me, but they got their shot finally.
Yes.
And it was harmless.
So, I mean, I think it was 18 minutes total because they didn't have a shot in the final 5 of the first and then the first 13 of the second. So, I mean.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So, to me, the first two periods, that is an exact template. Hey, you're on the second of a back-to-back playing a team that isn't overly offensively gifted. Shut them down. And that's what they were doing the first two. And then that third period kind of opened up a little bit. a big glaring hole for me from this game was the power plays Edmonton had. They did not look good on the power play for a team that's the best in the NHL at it versus a team that's pretty bad on the PK. I'd expect that to play a bigger factor in the Oilers winning a game like this, but they let them down tonight. The first unit, second unit too, gave up 2 breakaways in a 45-minute segment there on that power play. Ridiculous. Gave the Blues momentum, which allowed them to storm back. So I mean, yeah, definitely not. You can't be happy with the 1 point here, but I methere were some positives again. Like Connor Ingram looked incredible. I thought Savoy gelled really well on that top line. There's some positives from this game still, but yeah, it was definitely not pretty. And you'd like the Oilers to close this one out and get 2 points. Yeah,
the closing out is interesting, but I get it. It's been a long trip, but Benny mentioned it. It opened up in the third, right? It started to get a little bit more high tempoed, and things started to open up. I really thought that they were going to lock that one down, Tommy. You got to hand it to the St. Louis Blues. They did generate some good chances there, but of course you lose the draw. You don't want to lose a draw on the tying goal there. You want to at least go 50-50. And, just a perfect shot by, I believe it was Fowler that ripped that one through. I think it hit both posts. And, they were perfect shots. But that's what you had to do to beat Ingram. And, again, Ingram played great. But, again, that's NHL goaltending. That's what you expect from the NHL guys. He's giving his team a chance to win every single night, right?
True. Tommy? He had to make some good saves.
First period. And Hoffer did too, and got lucky, and they both had a little bit of an advantage by pucks hitting bars too. But I always count that as a save. I'm a goalie, so that's the way it is.
Yeah, you would. Let us know your thoughts. 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat. I saw one from Oliver Lossum Tossum a little bit earlier on that I did like, and I want to read. I'm going back in the nasty chat here. First 2 periods were so soft against a bad team, no force of will, just tickle hockey. Now, the Blues were 5-0-1 coming into this game, 6-3-1 in their last 10. They'd been playing good hockey. They beat the Carolina Hurricanes in Carolina last night. So it wasn't like they were a slouch. Lately, they're hot. They're playing with house money. I think you said, or DVD on the pregame show said they're playing carefree, and that can be dangerous because they're not going to make the playoffs. If they do, it's a miracle. Not even a minor one. It would be a straight up miracle.
The thing with the Blues, and DVD mentioned it, right? They did the same thing last year when it looked like it was out of reach, and then all of a sudden they go on a little bit of a run here, and they're probably feeling really good about themselves. They're on the outside looking in, but there still is a chance the St. Louis Blues could grab one of those wild card spots, right? So
I have my doubts.
I do too, but
sure.
It's just it was a game where after those first 2 crappy last one, and then you go, okay, this is good. They've shown the resolve, I think, that I wanted to see, Tommy. They played a mature road game. That was a typical mature road game from a experienced team. Okay, we're not going to give up much. There's a great portion of this is game management. We're going to put the pucks in areas that we're not going to get in trouble, and they did that for the majority of that game. But it gets that point at the end, and you don't need any more at that point. That's when it's got to be 100% to go on that offensive chance sort of thing.
Yeah.
You always hear play above the puck, 5 guys above the puck. On the power play there, you can't have 5 guys going to 1 guy on the sideboard.
They do that.
I know they do that.
They do it a lot.
You're outnumbering the opposition, and that puck has just been a black hole for the Edmonton Oilers at times this year because it sucks them all in.
Shaggy in the nasty chat said, Tommy with the excuses already. Shaggy, I'm giving the St. Louis Blues credit for playing good hockey lately, and they're not going down without a fight. Good for them. Do I think they're a great team? No. Do I think Edmonton should have been able to hang on and win this game? Yeah, they didn't. But I'm also giving some credit to the opposition, who shockingly also wanted to win that game tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think a month ago, if the St. Louis Blues were down 2-0, or 2 months ago, you wouldn't see much resolve.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. Now, from an Oilers standpoint, that is the taste in your mouth is bad, because that's an awful way to lose.
Yeah.
That's an awful way to lose an extra point, especially after what happened last night with Vegas beating Pittsburgh. The Oilers got stomped, and you had 2 points in your hands, and it slipped out of your hands. That's an awful way to lose. So I'm not giving the Oilers props for picking up 1 point tonight. They should have had 2.
Yeah.
But I'm saying St. Louis has been playing good hockey. That's not an excuse for the Oilers pissing away a point tonight. I think it's very much Oilers 25-26 that they would go down and lose that game the way they did tonight.
Yeah.
When you expect them to do something this year, what have they done? The opposite, essentially. Or they let us down.
But again, Tommy, the first 2 periods were good. That was the team that we've seen against the Colorados and the Vegases, right? That was that mature kind of mindset, but it just left with 8 minutes left. It was, and I don't understand why at some games you can see that complete 60 minutes, but as you see, it takes 60 minutes. It takes everybody. You can't have any passers, especially at this time of year in the NHL, because everyone's playing so well, right, Benny? Like a lot of teams are getting ready for the playoffs. The teams are the outside looking in, kind of playing with that house money, so footloose and fancy free, and they're not worried about it too much. So and they become dangerous. But yeah, you would have. I really thought that the Oilers were going to bring that one home.
And their schedule here, I mean, they're going to have another one of those matchups against the Preds on Sunday, where it's kind of house money for Nashville.
Yeah.
But then you got a team right on your ass in the San Jose Sharks. Florida Panthers, they're still trying to make the playoffs, and if they do, they're going to be a threat. I don't care who they're missing. They're always going to be a threat in the playoffs. Tampa, the Mammoth, Golden Knights, Ducks, like these are all now starting to get into matchups where it's like, these teams, they won't be house money. They're going to be like playing for playoff spots here. So a game like this tonight is simply unacceptable in the terms of, you're trying to gather as much points as possible. And if you allow a game like this to happen against a San Jose or a Utah or Vegas, you are like, there's much worse consequences to this now, because it's a 4-point swing instead of, St. Louis at the bottom Central Division. So yeah, they got to clean it up. They got to clean up for the games getting like really high stakes here.
All right.
You really want games, say like 79-82 to be about playoff positioning, home ice advantage. Yes. You don't want to be in this scenario where we need 2 points here to keep the guys below us,
right,
or keep pace with them, right, to stay in the playoff.
Yeah. A lot of texts tonight coming in about Jake Walman. I know there's been a lot of struggles with Jake Walman, his defensive play, and how he didn't look good yesterday, among many. But
yeah, he's
it's not just him. But I understand where the concern is starting to creep in when it comes to Jake Walman.
I still think, I don't know what it is, Tommy, and I've said it before about Jake Walman. Someone on the show I heard today say when he came here, it might have been even Hernan, who said he was going to be here, but again, he's not.
Unbelievable. I heard he won some money tonight.
Yeah, he won a bunch of money because of me,
you.
And fat chance I'll see any of that. Guy squeezes a nickel till the beaver poops. But
that's an old man joke for those kids that don't know what a nickel is. It's a 5-cent piece. They don't exist. Well, they do. We don't see them very often, though. Continue, Hernan.
Walman. He said that, I'm paraphrasing here, but when he came here, it was like, wow, what a pickup. This guy can move. He's got some jam. He's got a bomb for a shot. I still think that he's bad. He was injured at the beginning of the year,
yes,
and he hasn't looked as fleet of foot this year from last year. And then he was injured again. I think there's got to be something wrong with Jake Walman because he just doesn't seem like he's getting around the ice as effortlessly as he was last year when he played for the Oilers. He was all over it, right? And now he's kind of just sitting back and he's hesitant. It could be a confidence thing, I guess, maybe. But he just doesn't look the same.
Okay, here's the thing. The visual of him and his game sometimes doesn't match what's on paper or what the advanced metrics look like. Like, I'll just give you the straight-up stats tonight. 16:58 time on ice. He was +1, 4 shots, 1 block shot, 1 giveaway. But, I mean, last night, tonight, there's times you're looking at him and you're like, where are you going on that one? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What's up? Why? You know, and I understand where the concern comes from the fan base in regard to that. And listen, as of right now, you've got him for 7 more years, and you hope that whatever is ailing him, if anything, corrects itself and heals, or if it's just in his head in between the years, he figures it out.
Sometimes too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Benny.
Okay. I mean, on the power play there, I don't know if it's his fault. I have to see an overhead shot. But the Toropchenko breakaway, to me, like he seems committed to that one wall, and then I think there's consequences coming from that now. I mean, he's the second lowest ice time defenseman for the Oilers with Stastny. And I noticed late in that third period, man, tied game 2-2. You'd think you'd want to kind of, if you're playing for overtime, you want to rest up Bouchard, you want to rest up your top guys for that overtime. They're skipping over that pair. Walman and Stastny were stapled to that bench for the rest of the game. Tied 2-2. Like, what happens when it's playoffs and you're in a 2-2 hockey game in the playoffs? Can you trust that D pair? I don't know if you can right now with how Jake Walman's playing. And we've typically seen Jake Walman go out there in overtime. They don't even trust him there either. He's scored an overtime winner for the Oilers this year against Ottawa early in the season. He won't even get a sniff. They were giving it to Darnell and Matthias Ekholm. So, the trust has gone down for him, but rightfully so. He hasn't played anywhere near to how he played last year.
That's the $7 million third pairing guy. What we're describing right now.
That's what I was going to mention, Tommy. Is the not the pressure of a big contract, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Expectation.
The expectation to be a top guy.
Right.
Is that overwhelming Jake Walman where he thinks he has to be the best guy out there?
What is he, 29, 30 years old?
30 years old.
Time is now, man. Time is now. This is your time. You got your big ticket. Be that guy. They're putting the faith, trust, and money behind you. Go do it. And it looked good when he came in last year. Has not looked good, quite frankly, at all this season.
No.
Maybe the first 7 or 8 games when he came back from injury.
There's been some spurts where he's looked really good.
Sure,
right? But the consistency level like last year I was saying this. Why did everyone pass on this guy? Right? It was weird to see.
Mark says Tommy Walman has a knee issue. He cannot turn properly.
I have to put the ISO-cam on him for a game because I would completely agree with that. There's
perhaps
something's ailing him. Maybe a high ankle sprain.
It's clear that an all-star break, or I guess an Olympic break, helps though, because Trent Frederick, I feel like, has turned a page since the Olympic break. And today I noticed him in his 10 minutes.
Yep.
So I guess maybe Walman could use one of those breaks. I don't know.
And listen, hey, he just had one, and he's a guy that doesn't really go out there for optional practices. So the thing I would say to Mark is hopefully it heals, but there always seems to be something with him, doesn't there?
Yeah.
Let's go to EJ. EJ, thank you for the humor tonight. We appreciate it. Y'all play in the Pacific Division. Quit your whining and accept your guaranteed playoff spot. Good luck with Vegas or Anaheim. Sincerely, Central Division basement dweller. Thank you, EJ. Appreciate that. That was a good one. That deserves a little bit of that. We'll give it an applause. Well played, sir, on this Friday night. Let's go to SJ and the Kootenays. says, no problem, Gager. We have 7 more years for him to bounce back. Hashtag not better. I get it, SJ. I get it. Let's go dive into the inbox, 780-218-9999. Go to Gray Hair Teacher. Says it's just not good enough. Power play brutal. Top guy's obsessed with trying to pass the puck into the net at all times. Talk me off the ledge here. I'm losing it. Well, take a step off the ledge, deep breath. They secured another standing point. I can't remember who put it in the nasty chat, but I appreciated the use of standing point, which is the technical term. And, they make up slight ground on the Vegas Golden Knights.
It was just lined up perfectly.
They had it, though, and that's
the perfect,
that's
everyone's playing a certain way. We're not giving up a lot. You know, you get solid goaltending. Your star guys come through at certain points. Leon with arguably one of the greatest assists in this season. that backhand pass.
Yeah,
that was unbelievable. Connor McDavid finally using a guy for a screen and backing him off and ripping it past the goalie. That was unbelievable. And then I just thought this is over. But again, like you said, you got to hand it for the St. Louis Blues. They didn't quit. Kept hammering away. They found a way to get it done.
It's kind of a screw you to the Oilers.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing we said, and we were talking about this on the pregame show, was let's see if the Oilers can take the disappointment and embarrassment of last night and the frustration and convert it into anger and turn it into beating on the St. Louis Blues. That didn't happen. Is that concerning?
It's not in their DNA. It has to be brought out of them. It's unfortunately there's no bullies on the Edmonton Oilers. Where we thought that would be Trent Frederick a little bit more. Clattenburg.
Yeah.
When he comes in, he's a little bit of a bully. Doc was kind of bullish too. So
that's why they called Jones up. They want. Yeah, they want some. It's muscle.
It's a part of their team, their makeup that's not there on a regular basis, and I think you need that. You need I'm just going to say some names, but the Kachucks, the Bennetts, that type of style. The I don't care about human life kind of aspect. When you're out, they don't. Right? They'll cross-check in the face. Yeah. But they don't really have guys like that will finish every check and just get in your face completely. I think Mangiapane was supposed to be that irritant too, right? So and I just think that is not part of the leadership group. Sometimes you get a snarly Leon Draisaitl, and maybe that pops out a little bit more in a 7-game series. Maybe you'll see it a bit more when you're playing against the same guys over and over and build up that animosity. But it would be nice to see it on a more regular basis. But maybe, fingers crossed, Tommy, now that they're playing a lot more Pacific Division foes, building up towards the possibilities of playing some of these teams in the playoffs, will ramp up the emotion and the intensity to be a little bit more physical.
I was going to dive back into the inbox, but you mentioned that. When? Because we have, 16 games or 15 games remaining here for the Oilers?
Yeah.
And we've been saying that. Well, maybe it's going to come. Maybe they're going to ramp it up. Maybe they're going to lock it down. Maybe they're going to go on a winning streak. The season's over in 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And at the deadline, I was optimistic. I said I thought it was adequate, the pickups they made. I still do. But you talk about the DNA, Joaquin, and we're going, maybe it'll, spark something. I'm at the point now where I'm going, no, there is no any spark that happens doesn't ignite anything.
No.
It burns out quick with this team. And that's part of their modus operandi.
Yeah, I mean,
unfortunately,
it is. Then that little prick to play against.
Yeah.
Thing. Corey Perry is the perfect example. He's hated. He doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
People look at him and they hate him. Mm-hmm. Right? But They don't have any of that. It's I think that comes from the leaders, the way that they play. That's why it was kind of encouraging to see Connor get really upset, and he's as mad as hell and can't take it anymore attitude. But no, you're right, Tommy. That you thought that might translate into today.
Yeah,
it did not.
We're like game 10. All right, they're gonna start waking up. Game 20. All right, well, we saw some sparks. Maybe they're gonna wake up. Game 30, same thing. Game 40. Wow, this team doesn't have a winning streak at all this season. Game 50, still no winning streak. Took to game 55 for them to hit a winning streak. And then they lose the next 3 going into the Olympic break. By game 58, we're like, well, I don't know. Maybe they'll wake up after the break. And like Joaquin, I do not blame you at all for being like, maybe they're going to find a spark here. I'm at the point, but you're being optimistic. No, you're always right. You got it right with this East squad that won a bunch of money for a bunch
I made
of
so much money for Nasties and Hernan Salas.
You're welcome.
He's probably just knee deep in box wine right now.
And cigarettes.
Yeah. Camels. Probably went and got some
good stuff.
Some Pall Malls.
Unfiltered.
Camels. Yeah. Just lighting the next one with the old one right now.
If you phone him right now, he'll be like,
his voice is
hola.
His voice is
¿Cómo estás?
Just trash.
Bueno.
Just absolute Chilean trash right now.
He's having a night. All right, I know we're a little bit silly here, but the Oilers do fall 3-2 in overtime to the St. Louis Blues. They do pick up a point. Disappointing. 2-1-1 on the road trip, boys. Is that a success? Benny, you start, and then we'll go to Gager.
I mean, to not give the context of how it happened.
Face value.
2-1-1 with the teams that you were playing on the road trip. I would still call it a success. It's not fantastic. I think a lot of Oilers fans, that they saw Vegas, Colorado, Dallas, St. Louis at the, they're red hot right now. Okay, yeah, you know what? 2-1-1, you take that. But if you were to tell them, okay, you beat Vegas and Colorado, and you got kind of house money here with Dallas, and then you let one slip against St. Louis, I think there's a little bit more of a negative connotation around it. So, I mean, face value, yes, 2-1-1, solid, especially with the level of opponents you're playing. But with how it happened, man, I think it's leaving a lot of us discouraged. So, it's tough to kind of play both sides of it. But, it's all right, I guess.
Gager?
Yeah, no, I a little bit disagree with Benny, but only because, I mean, you look at the teams, yes, it's a success, but I look at the position that they're in and the time of the year, right? And how they set themselves up for success on the road trip with starting out with the 2 wins, right? That's when you can really take advantage. So I'm not going to say it was a terrible road trip by any means. I would say it's adequate for where they are and what they need to accomplish to keep the guys below you and try to track down first place in the Pacific, where everyone seems to be stuck in mud, sputtering their tires. You had a really good chance to at least come out of this with a good 6 points, right? Which is that, I think, looking, but there's a missed opportunity. There's an extra point there that maybe it won't make a difference, but if it comes down to the end of 82 and you're 1 point out at this from first place, what have you, it's a big deal.
5 out of a possible 8 on this trip. It's set up so nice with those first 2 wins, and then the air, wind out of the sail, so to speak. Obviously, the shellacking in Dallas. I think if they won tonight, people would put that behind them way easier.
Oh, yeah.
The 1 point tonight is just kind of like, ugh. What would I do?
The way it was.
It's like getting a black licorice jujube in the middle of a red and an orange one. You know what I mean? You're like, all right, it's okay. One of them's fine, but I wanted a green.
How much time was left when they're up 2-0?
7:38, I think, is when they got that first one.
Right in the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Right? So, man, stings.
Let's go to Huntorio Momes texting in here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Live on location at the Canadian Ice House in support of the Heavy Hockey Showdown going down tomorrow. 780-218-9999. And then the Nasty Chat's doing its thing as the Oilers fall 3-2 in OT in St. Louis. Huntorio Momes says, guys, today I noticed a consistent strategy in all areas of the D zone. Stick checking is option A, B, and C. Whether it's along the boards or 3 feet in front of the net. This team is butter soft in their own zone, and while we get frustrated at the goalies, I bet goalies, I'm going to do this, playing for them. Go Ferrari. Hate playing for them. I'll reiterate that one.
Yeah, at times it does look like a bass tournament out there. Yeah. Everybody's fishing. I don't understand it. There's a physical presence that needs to be had a little bit more. There are way too many stick checks out there for my liking. But again, that's the DNA of this team. I think that's why they brought in the Murphy to kind of have that physical presence. You saw how he plays. Like he's body on body, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
He puts his stick in a good position, but there's physical contact too, right?
I brought you up. I like to reference you a lot, and Belzy and Cass, obviously, for good reason. But today, Trev and I were doing the oil stream in the afternoon, and I was talking about how you always get frustrated. You and I watch games together, and you'll see, and usually it's Darnell Nurse. I'll use him as an example, and I know he's an easy target. But the half going down or the waving the stick, and you get mad naturally, instinctually. Joaquin, why does that piss you off so much?
Because it's going halfway. Halfway doesn't work out, right? See you, buddy. And I can't. I'd rather my D-man just go. Right. Just go. If you make a mistake, it's the whole Al Pacino speech in Any Given Sunday. If you make a mistake, make it big. But when you get caught halfway, you're not doing anything anyway. So at least if you make a decision and go at it, you might get something. But that when he gets into that Nordic track stance in between, it just he's screening the goalie. B, if it gets past him, it's so hard to control the rebound if you can't see the initial shot, and you've taken yourself out of the play because you've left your feet. So I don't understand it. I realize, but he would be much better served just standing up tall, taking one side left to the right. We had Dwayne Rollison on a few weeks ago, and he talked about the discussions that he had because he was going nuts with all the guys that were blocking shots. And so he had a rule with certain, I think it was Stevie Stais. Okay, if you're going to go down and block, then you take the bottom. And you're responsible.
You got everything above.
I got everything up top, so I know if you're down there, all I'm looking for is something up top. If it gets through and goes in, that's on you because I can't see it.
Right.
So that someone has to talk. Someone has to have a discussion from goaltender to defenseman about this type of play because they seem disjointed at times. It would drive me crazy about it.
And that's why I wanted you to get – I like when you articulate it. That's why I brought it up. Huge shout-out to Dash in the Park. Dash. Keeping our whistles wet on the post-game show here at the Ice House. A couple of fresh beverages. Hi, Taya. I've graduated to the big one. Taya has been mocking me all night long.
I believe it was a female dog.
You love it. Yes. Yeah, she called me many names
tonight. A small female dog, I believe is what it was.
Now I get a heart. Thank you, Taya. So if you come down to Ice House, be sure to see Taya. She's the best. I know I love it. I take abuse and enjoy it. I appreciate that. We are live on location. The Heavy Hockey Showdown going tomorrow at the Downtown Community Arena in support of the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, SACE. We might be getting Lena from SACE on here, Lena Becker, who's co-CEO. She might slide in the last 5 minutes. We'll ask her a couple questions and get some more info on the event and how things went tonight, but we want to talk about the game for sure. I got this text from Eddie. Should I hit it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go. 780-218-9999. Zedmo says, man, show them beers, boys. Thank you, Zedmo. It's been a busy couple of days, but in a good way, like a good busy, I would say. Oh, there's El Presidente. All right, let's go to Eddie's text. Says, despite the loss, we finally got a goaltending performance that gave us a chance to win. The team didn't give Ingram the support he gave them. Way too slack with the puck. Walman and Darnell, horrible as usual in the D zone. Dickinson, who was supposed to be the defensive specialist, was one of the worst defensively. That is a tough loss. Anything you guys want to pick out of there from Eddie?
Again, I think that Ingram, although he played really well, that's the standard. That's like he stopped the ones that he should have, and he took a couple away that he shouldn't have. Right? That's what you want. The goals that Connor Ingram has allowed in his past 3 games are essentially perfect goals.
Yeah.
Right? There's screens, there's tips, it's posting in. Like sometimes you have to tip your hat to the shooter, right? Yeah. But yeah, you can't argue that he is giving the Edmonton Oilers the best. This has been a stretch of really good goaltending where he's giving them a chance to win every single night.
Yeah, that's another game where the under hit today too.
Yeah, how about
for the Oilers?
That's all I was thinking when it was a 0-0 game in that second period for a little bit. Like they called it on the pregame. It's gonna be an under.
He called it.
I called it again, just like Cloud 9, baby.
Yeah. I'll say this, and trust me before I say it, I understand it's such a lazy take, and I'm picking at it. I mean, I think if Tristan Jarry's in this net, I don't think it goes to overtime. Personally, like I don't think he.
I would agree with you.
I don't think he makes the saves that Ingram is making. I look at the 2 breakaways. I understand one of them hit the bar with Parayko on the power play, but I mean,
had nothing to shoot at, Benny. Had nothing.
Yes. Of course he'd say that. Very true. Former NHL goalie. But to me, I think if Jarry's playing tonight, Oilers probably don't even get a point. So. Ingram is clearly your best chance to win in net.
What do you guys think? Do they need to send Jarry on a stint to go find his game?
I think, to me, like Pickard can't be any worse than what Jarry is, and if you are planning on keeping Jarry for the rest of his contract, would be this year and 2 more, you got to do what's best for him long term. And if that's giving him a break and letting him try to figure his game out in the AHL, then I think that's probably what's best for him personally. And then I think on the other side, it's also a benefit for your team because you bring back a guy that the guys love in the locker room, and Calvin Pickard, a guy who, yes, his numbers don't look great, but it's pretty hard to be worse than Tristan Jarry's right now. So,
and it worked last year.
It worked, yeah.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's go inside the Oilers locker room. Who do you want to hear from, Joaquin? Chris Knoblock or Kasperi Kapanen?
Let's go Knoblock.
Okay.
Here's Chris Knoblock from the locker room tonight.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you feel like you've kind of got everything under control until that first goal, and then that springs everything a little more wide open.
Yeah, I don't think it could have went much better for us in the first 40 minutes, and then third period, we were with a nice lead, and they got their goal, and maybe we got a little nervous and backed in a little bit. Obviously, they had a strong push, and it's unfortunate to finish. It could have been an outstanding end of a road trip, getting 3 out of the 4, but losing, only getting 1 point in the last 2 games is disappointing for us.
What about overtime? Did you feel like you had control of it most of what was just short of 5 minutes of total play?
Yeah, we had the puck the most of the time, but in 3-on-3 time, it's always a counterattack. You can have that possession, you can have the opportunities, but eventually it ends up going back and forth. And we were close scoring. The Bouchard, the puck that was laying in the crease in the blue paint there, almost going in, but not enough.
Chris, did you feel like the momentum was on their side, the fact that they were able to score in the final 10 minutes of the third period to force things to?
I think maybe they had the momentum maybe the last 5 minutes after they got their first goal. But in the overtime, I think with Draisaitl and McDavid and Bouchard to start it off, I think that eliminates any momentum.
Is there still a positive that you can take getting 5 of a potential 8 points this week?
The positive is that we played some pretty good hockey at points, and the first 2 games of the road trip were really good. Obviously, the Dallas game, no, and most of the game tonight was good, but not all of it.
All right, that was head coach Chris Knoblock talking about his team's 3-2 loss in overtime in St. Louis. 1-1 on that 4-game road trip. The Oilers take on the Nashville Predators on Sunday. Bit of a bummer, Lena. But we're going to talk about something a little bit more positive. Lena Becker, co-CEO of SACE, Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, of course, about the Heavy Hockey Showdown happening tomorrow at 1. We'll all be on the ice, ready to go. Some of these guys might not be fighting fit, but that's their problem.
Hopefully the other team.
Yeah, exactly. Team EST is ready to rock. I'm back on Team EST. I didn't get traded. Not yet, at least. And there's no,
There was a contract dispute.
There was a contract dispute. I asked for way too much. I'm kidding. Do you want to talk about the hockey game really quickly? Is it how disappointing is it that the Oilers lost? They still went 2-1-1 on the road trip.
Yeah, super disappointing. It's tough. It was tough on the crowd here tonight, but tonight I won tickets in the auction for next Tuesday's game. It'll be my first Oilers game ever attending in person.
Are you serious?
So I am hoping for a win on Tuesday night.
Well, good. Former Oilers goaltender Joaquin Gage is very excited for you.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. You'll have fun.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Maybe you bring the good vibes on Tuesday and 2 points as well.
I will do what I can. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's put that in. Let's manifest it. Put it in the ether. We're also manifesting and actually physically raising funds for a great cause, SACE, Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. Just give us the rundown on, for those that are not aware of SACE and what it does in the community. And I know we talked earlier on our shows, on our station about, government grants and there's limitations there. Start with what SACE is and how it helps people that need help.
Yeah, well, SACE has been serving people in the Edmonton community since 1975, so 51 years, which is pretty incredible. And we are here for anyone who's experienced sexual violence. We support survivors. We offer counseling, individual counseling for people as young as 3 years old of all genders. We also do a lot of prevention education in the community to try to prevent sexual violence from happening. So it's really important. Every year we help thousands of people.
Right. Which is, people might think there's obviously, it's hard to talk about it. But Michael was talking about the numbers, the sheer numbers, and how many people need the help. When the funds are raised through events like the Heavy Hockey Showdown, what do they go to, and how can people understand where their money is going to help out, aside from government funding, which is a little bit different, it has some ramifications?
Absolutely. I think donations from fundraisers like this evening is so important for us to keep our doors open, but also because we can use that money wherever we need it most.
Yes.
And it can go directly to helping those survivors. So, every dollar raised is literally going to pay for a counseling session for someone who really needs it.
This event, I know last year we were talking about it. There was a change in funding, and it was an important event for SACE. Can you tell us what this event, the Heavy Hockey Showdown, actually does and how much of a benefit it is to SACE?
Yeah, I think that since our partnership has started, Heavy Hockey's raised over $150,000 for us. Every year it keeps growing, and now it's our biggest fundraiser of the year. So it really does make a big difference in our funding. So, and beyond that, I think just having, a partnership with a hockey organization is so important, because this is an issue that a lot of people don't like talking about. And so to have the support of you folks at Heavy Hockey is just so important to us.
Okay, you mentioned that. You said it's not easy to talk about. When you go and try to canvass businesses, people, organizations to help you raise funds, how do you break through that initial barrier of talking about it, saying, no, this is a very real problem. We're here to help, and we need your support in this.
Right. I think that the message we try to get across is that this is an issue that exists in the shadows. It is perpetrated and then exists shrouded in shame and blame. So the best thing we can do is actually talk about it. And the more we are comfortable talking about it, the more we can prevent it from happening and make people who've experienced feel less alone.
Joaquin?
For the people that maybe can't make it out here or tomorrow or anything, where's the easiest way or the most efficient way that they can donate and know that their dollars are going in the right place?
Absolutely. If you go to heavyhockey.com, there's a link on there. You can donate to this weekend's event so that those funds will be counted towards this amazing fundraiser. And I believe that the goal is $50,000 this year. We're getting close to that. Perfect. So we'd love to see those numbers push right to the 50,000 mark.
We have great support at Edmonton Sports Talk. Great listeners, great viewers. So too does Heavy Hockey. And anybody that wants to know anything else or get any information about SACE and how can they get involved, what would you direct them to?
Visit our website. You can visit us at sace.ca. That's sace.ca. And you can learn about donating, volunteering, other ways to get involved.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks for putting up with everyone tonight. Thanks for the time hopping on the post-game show tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been great.
Awesome. So Lena Becker, co-CEO of SACE, check them out. It's a great cause, obviously, and like you said, Lena, a tough subject to talk about, but that's one way to help is you talk about it. So go have a look. Go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The header has Heavy Hockey Showdown, and you can get all the links to find out more there as well. All right. Big thank you to Lena. We're going to go back inside the Oilers locker room, and we're going to hear from Kasperi Kapanen.
Period that, tilted the momentum in their favor there.
They're a good team. And they needed to obviously make a push going down 2-0. And, I don't know. It's really a shame. I think throughout the whole game we were playing pretty well, and teams are going to have their push if we're leading, and we just need to learn how to play with a lead. And now we just hope that one extra point that we lost today is not going to come and haunt us later.
Did you feel like you were facing a team that's been now 6-0-1 in their last 7 games?
Yeah, for sure. You can tell there's a lot of young guys on that team with a lot of energy, and some veteran guys. And I've been in that locker room before, and they have a good group, and certainly felt like a team that has some confidence. But we played well today too. I think the first 2 periods we were playing extremely well, and even in the third we had some chances and a good push. And like I said, it sucks right now, but we just gotta kind of forget this one and then move on.
That being said, the way that you guys played, is there an element where you can bring that momentum carrying into the homestand that's coming up?
Certainly. I think we defended well at times today. I think in the second period our offense was getting much better than it was in the first, and just this trip has, in a whole, been a positive one. We obviously would have wanted 2 points today, and the game yesterday wasn't our best, but certainly better than it has been as of late.
All right, there's Kasperi Kapanen summing it up there. Better, but not enough tonight.
Yeah, nice goal, though. Great pass. Wow.
Great
goal.
Yeah. Great goal.
Nice shot.
I've liked his game this year, Tommy. I think he's got a little bit more confidence there playing in the top 6. He's used his speed a lot more. At the skills competition, he seemed very engaging with everybody.
Yeah.
So I was everyone was kind of talking to him, and he was smiling a lot.
Well, he's a new dad. Apparently that changed his perspective on life.
Nice.
I've only heard. I don't know firsthand.
Yeah, I wouldn't know either.
Oh, good to see you, Cheryl. We had a great turnout tonight. Lots of nasties, lots of friends from the Heavy Hockey Network as well. There's Rob from the Grove. They're recovering still from Mexico. Byron Texan says, boys, tough loss. This team just can't string wins together and put out consistent games. The power play, I think, cost them that game. They lost all the momentum. Is this team on the decline now that they had a few good runs, but they haven't showed anything all year? We can't expect anything different if they make the playoffs, Byron. I don't think they're on the decline. I stand by what I said in the offseason. This is going to be a step-back season. There's going to be some struggles. The changes to the roster are to me, and when people say those are questionable, I don't disagree with that. But I feel like next year, maybe, I don't know how they're going to do in the postseason. I'm assuming it won't be a Stanley Cup Finals run. That's just my opinion. But maybe a little bit of extra time off. You sign some guys with the money you have available that will contribute, will help. You got to get the right guys, Joaquin.
Yeah.
I think this team could be fired out of the slingshot next year.
Yeah. And I, on all our shows, I think a lot of people's consensus, although they're of course, they would love for the Oilers to go on another run and get to the finals and see what happens. But so we always mention it's a lot of hockey being played by these guys.
Yep.
And maybe just that a few more solar panels during the summertime to recharge the batteries, and maybe build the fire a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because this year, you can't tell me that they've been fully engaged.
No.
For a lot of these games. Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen it at times, and that's where the frustration comes out, because when they are such a good team, right? When they are engaged and fully focused. So I don't know. Sometimes I remember when my season ended early, I was pissed. I wanted to get right back at it, right?
Yeah.
And building that fire throughout the summertime, and they know there is nothing worse than watching other guys that you know or played with or you hate to play against win a Stanley Cup. Yeah. Like it's awful.
There's no doubt that the two cup runs have had an impact on this season. To me, like this is a team that seems tired and seems like they're playing through their way through a regular season. That's what it feels like. I with the offseason to come, and I know we're looking a little too far ahead when there's potentially playoff on the way. I was talking about this with my dad last night. Like, if they decide to move off one of these bad contracts, right? Let's just say, one of the Walmans, the nurses, the Jari, just like to free up even more money.
Right.
What is Stan Bowman showed us that fans can trust him to make the right decisions with that cap space?
Well, not a lot.
Not a lot. You know what I mean? Like I'm worried for this team if they have that much cap space, because then the UFA market doesn't look great right now. So you would imagine they're going to look for trades, and if that's the case, are you going to overpay for a guy that doesn't even fit in? It's interesting to see how it will unfold, obviously. But I'm 100% agree with you guys. I've always looked at this year as a step back year for them. I think it'll be best for them to have a year where it ends a little bit earlier than usual, and recharge and have a better season next year.
So the best moves that Stan Bowman so far has made have been players that have fallen into his lap.
Yep.
I would say. Like Ingram kind of fell into the Oilers' lap.
Yep.
Roslovic didn't have anywhere else. No one wanted him. They fell into their lap.
Yep.
But we don't really know the effect of Murphy yet, and Dickinson.
Doc's already hurt.
But Doc's hurt. But maybe it was a good idea to get guys on expiring deals too.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't work, you could just move on and wouldn't have to worry about that next year, right? So there might be something to that a little bit, but we've all said it, and I've said it. Like Stan Bowman needs to hit it out of the park with a couple, maybe not a home run, but he needs a double and a triple for sure.
Yeah.
Not going to disagree with that. Not one bit. All right, 780-218-9999 here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage, Ben Thompson with you. I'm going to get to the turning point of the game presented by Say the Reed Sport Medicine. Connor McDavid has a team of specialists. You have a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Say the Reed Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today. www.saythereedsportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. Listen, I could go the equalizer, but you can call this the easy way out, but I think it's the game-winning goal because there was less than 10 seconds left in overtime. The Oilers had their chances. They had some possession. Yeah. The decisions with the puck, questionable. I don't remember Leon stayed on really long, and you're like, oh, he's still out there, and he's dipsy doodling in the neutral zone.
It's just you knew something bad was going to happen.
Yeah.
It took Leon 10 seconds to get through the neutral zone.
It did. It did. And ultimately, it leads to the turning point of the game, which is Robert Thomas bearing his 16th of the year from Cam Fowler and Jordan Kyrou at 4:51 of overtime to steal that second point away from the Oilers when they had a 2-0 lead. Blew it in the last 8 minutes of the game. Salt in the wound, I know, but to me, I mean, the game was there for them even in overtime. They couldn't do anything with it. So Robert Thomas's winner in OT is your turning point of the game. Brought to you by the Sather Reed Medicine Clinic, and book your assessment today. Sather Reed, sportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. I was going to say next year, this offseason, Joaquin, in hockey terms, is a neutral zone D-to-D regroup. And then next year you attack.
Yeah, that would, and defend it, too.
And as well, when you're the Oilers, you're not really 100% on the attack. You're kind of having to be ready for the defense.
We've all, I'm sure you've been part of those drills where you do the, starts off in the offensive zone, quick turnaround. You're going back 3-on-2. It goes 5-on-5 to 3-on-2. Coach blows the whistle, quick regroup.
I hate those.
And everyone's going, so they got to turtle back, touch the blue line, and come back. But it's for the D-men to get the gap up, right?
Yes.
So then they move forward, and maybe you throw in a back checker at that point, so everyone starts moving.
You know what I heard during that drill?
Coach, Jesus.
Hurry the Tommy! God damn. Tommy! Oh my God! Get your ass going!
Oh yeah.
That's what I heard from my junior coach, Wally Course, local psycho and legend. Yeah.
No, sorry for bringing back bad memories of those.
No, I cherish them now. I cherish those memories. Benny Thompson, do you want to do the player of the game, or do you have any other thoughts?
No, let's do the player of the game.
Okay.
Damon Bunting, Real Estate Player of the Game. Damon Bunting has been a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for almost 20 years. He and his team would love to help you find the right home or make the move from your current home to community-driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. This one's pretty easy for me. I thought there were some guys that had some solid nights tonight, but I highlighted it earlier. I think if it's a swap for this guy's position, we're talking about a different game tonight. Connor Ingram, I think, is worthy of player of the game today. Made some big saves when they needed him. I look at that second period, and the Blues went 18 minutes without a single shot. And the first shot he sees is a Jordan Kyrou high slot wrister. And, I'd imagine, Gager, that's like the worst case scenario for a goalie is like you've gone cold for 18 minutes and then you're seeing, an elite scorer firing one right at you in the high slot. So I think for him, he had a fantastic game. And if he can play like that every night, I feel like he has been, he gives you always a decent chance to win the game. So Connor Ingram's the player of the game.
Can you describe what you did to me earlier when I asked you? You said that facing St. Louis, we're talking about how the old building or before they renovated, how it was tough on opponents, and you're like, I had to mop up for Tommy Salo, and Chris Pronger blew one by me, but I saved one on Al McInnes. But the way you described his slap shot, I thought was incredible.
Yeah, so it was the 5-on-3, very scary with those two obviously moving into the tops of the circles, and they were just playing catch, and McInnes fired it, and as a goalie you kind of pick stuff up. Excuse me, but I saw it, but then it got like halfway to me and exploded.
That's
and all
crazy.
Of a sudden it hit my glove. Like I was reacting, I got this, and you're tracking it with your eyes, but then I completely lost it, and all I felt was my hand moving back. And then the puck dribbled luckily wide of the net, and I got credit for a save on Al McInnes. But St. Louis, great place to play for a Blue, I think. They're very passionate fans.
Yeah.
It's a very hard place to play for the visiting teams. And I think you saw that when St. Louis got one goal. When it was 2-0, there were still lots of people in the seats, right? And they got one, crowd gets into it, they get a little bit of juice. It's it's a unique. I'll say it's a unique place.
You said it was good sports town.
Yeah, a great sports town. Unreal.
But to see the slap shot, and then halfway through, you said it explodes, and it's just
you lost it. Like it was, you could see it, and then lost it completely.
That's wild, man. I love that description. I love picking your brain and Belzy's brain about stuff like that, and I find those stories so fascinating. Call me a hockey geek or just a geek. That's fine. I'll take it. All right, let's dive into the inbox for the final few minutes here. AJ in Speedy Creek in Old Swift Current there says, I'd say the best thing for this team would be missing the playoffs. I understand where that comes from, but I disagree.
No, I think you still need to make it. That's the standard.
Give yourself a chance.
Yeah, and you never know. You never know. Maybe everything just changes all of a sudden. We've seen teams that have, well, not usually, but teams that get in, magic can happen. I mean, in 2006, did anyone think that the Edmonton Oilers would get out of that first series against the Detroit Red Wings? Nobody. But they gained a little bit of momentum. Started feeling good about themselves. They put themselves in good position. They got stellar goaltending. What's the line from Major League? Our rookies were playing like veterans, and the veterans were playing like all-stars, right?
That's a good place to be.
That's what happened. And you can't tell me that this team isn't capable of doing something like that.
They should be.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think we talk about fatigue, Tommy. That's the one thing I forgot about to say. It's not physical fatigue. It's the mental fatigue of preparing yourself to perform at an elite level 82 times a year, then another 24 to 25. And I think that battery for the majority of the Edmonton Oilers is really low. And unfortunately, it's kind of like a high ankle sprain. The only thing that recharges that is a little bit of length and time and a willingness to get back there.
You get that time away, you get vacation time or whatever, and then after a week or two, you start twiddling your thumbs. You're like, I'm ready to get back.
Yeah.
They kind of need that.
Well, I mean, you look at when the Stanley Cup playoffs start, whatever teams are in there, half the guys in the NHL are already like 2, 3, probably a month into their training programs to get ready for the next year. So just imagine that.
Yep, that's good. That's compounds.
Yeah.
Let's go to West End Rob. West End Rob says, guys, would you bring back Roslovic? At what term cost? He has flashes, but not often enough. Has the MO of good early in the year, then fades in the back half. West End Rob, nicely done with MO, West End Rob. Benny, I'll throw that one at you.
I would not bring him back. I wouldn't, because I am scared bleepless of what he would be like on term. I think with Jake Walman, we're seeing here that the Oilers probably should have waited to see how, what the cards they were dealt with him this year, and saw that he's been, to be blunt, he's been a liability. I'm sure they're regretting that 7x7 they gave him. So with Roslovic, I'm not saying he's going to be, Jake Walman if you sign him, but what I am saying is that he's motivated, right? He's had a whole summer of trying to find the most money he can get from a team, and he simply did not get it, and waited all the way up until, the Oilers were playing their first game of the regular season to sign with an NHL team, right? So he's motivated as ever to make money, and he's coming as advertised, with hot streaks and cold streaks. But, overall, I think if you're the Oilers, you want the most amount of cap space heading into free agency. And from what the reports have been about him wanting more than a 4x4, I'd pass, personally.
Fair enough. This is why you want to go to playoffs, I think.
Yeah,
the real evaluation of certain players, possibly, right? This will be big for Dickinson, Murphy, Roslovic. If Roslovic can still kind of look this same way, then I think you got to think about it. But we're all in that same boat, Benny. I think it was from the moment Roslovic started to look good. We were like, Oh gosh.
Yep.
Don't sign him.
Don't sign him.
Yeah.
And it's terrible to say because I've loved his game.
Yep.
I think there's a player there. The connection he has with Leon is unique. Like there is some chemistry there between those two players. So yeah, man, but I think you got to wait. I think you got to, because he's doing everything he possibly can to set himself up to have a really good day on July 1st.
Yep.
All right, the Oilers fall 3-2 in overtime to St. Louis. They lose a point, piss it away. Less than 8 minutes left. The first goal for the Blues, and then they tie it late, and then they get the winner with 8.8 seconds left on the clock in overtime. Robert Thomas, the winner. Busy couple of days, lots going on. It's a circus being on location, but it's a lot of fun. Tried to get to as many text messages as we could. A lot of nasty chats as well. Sensory overload, Joaquin. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, no, it was. We started off weak.
Yeah,
not a good first 10. Somewhat kind of like the Oilers, but we finished strong tonight. Tom.
We finished strong. And listen, if we didn't get to your intricate Puckpedia knowledge as deeply as you wanted to, I apologize. But
blame me. I didn't bring my laptop.
Yeah, sorry, he didn't bring his laptop. But yeah, when you're on location, it's a little bit different. But we appreciate everybody who's with us tonight on a Friday night in support of the Heavy Hockey Showdown for SACE, the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, raising a good chunk of change for them, much needed. And we'll be on the ice tomorrow, Team EST versus Team Heavy Hockey at the Downtown Community Arena at 1 p.m. We'll have Hello Hockey for you at 10. Local Jasper Avenue, myself and Sean Bell. We'll have Nikki Olczyk on from the Utah Mammoth. Dave Pagnotta will fill us in. All you Puckpedia, CBA geeks will get your fill there. So relax. Just settle down. It's Friday night, okay? Big thank you to Lena Becker, co-CEO of SACE, and to everybody who watched and listened. Enjoy the rest of your night. Mix it in water. Have some fun. For Joaquin Gage and Ben Thompson, I'm Tom Gazzola saying have a great night. Ciao for now.